Postpartum planning. So postpartum planning is very important as you are preparing for the birth of your baby. Often, a lot of times, the focus gets put on the birth plan and the postpartum plan doesn't get a whole lot of attention. So we're going to talk about it. You should have this packet that I've given you, and we're just going to talk through it. So I have different categories. Each one of these boxes is a different category or a different area in life that it is important to plan for. So we're just going to talk through it all. So the first one I have is sleep. So sleep's going to be really, really important, and it's going to also be challenging potentially. So one of the things to think through is where is baby going to sleep? Do you have a bassinet? Do you have do you plan to co-sleep? Like, what is your plan there? What are you comfortable with? And then also just finding sleep is going to look differently during the newborn season. Babies don't sleep through the night. So planning to take naps during the day, planning to prioritize sleeping and taking naps when you can over doing some household chores, which we'll talk about in another category. Taking turns with your husband, maybe trading off, like he takes like an evening shift and taking care of baby, obviously everything other than like breastfeeding, but takes baby and lets mom sleep, and then maybe mom takes the next shift through the night so that he can sleep so that he can show up to work the next day. But just kind of thinking through that, having that conversation with each other, and kind of making a plan. And it's okay if when reality hits, if your plan does not go exactly how you thought. It's okay to change and tweak things that work for you. So the next category, still on the front page, is feeding and caring for your baby. So how are you planning on feeding your baby? Are you planning on breastfeeding? Are you planning on teaching your baby how to breastfeed and take a bottle at the appropriate time so that you can either go back to work or whatever your life has? And then also, do you know what resources you have available to help with breastfeeding issues? And then diapering. What are you planning on using for diapers? Are you planning on using disposables, cloth diapers, a combination? And if you're planning on doing cloth diapers, do you have a system in place to wash them? So on the next page, we have meals, household chores, visitors, and care for siblings and pets. So for meals, you can either plan to make a bunch of freezer meals ahead of time so that during that newborn season, you have easy to grab meals that you can throw in the crock pot or the oven or heat up quick. Do you have somebody that can set up a meal train for you? So in those early weeks, you have people bringing food to you every night or every other night or whatever works for you. Or like doing a combination of that is great. Like, what is your plan for feeding yourself and stocking up snacks and making sure you have what you need so that you have easy food, because you're not going to be wanting to cook and you're not going to have energy to cook like you normally would during that newborn season. So what is your plan for making sure you're fed and getting like nutritious, nutrient dense foods during that season? Household chores, just what's your plan there? An idea I have on here is just having a list of chores like written out on a piece of paper that you can like put on your fridge. And so when people come over and they're like, hey, what can I do to help you? You have a list and you can be like, hey, like look at the list, see if there's anything that you want to do that you could help me with, so that you're not trying to have to like think of like, oh, like is the bathroom clean? Do I need it vacuumed? Is there dishes? Like just having that easier so you don't have to think so hard when you're in that foggy, like you haven't slept very well, your mind is just not on that stuff. Do you want to hire a postpartum doula? Those can be really helpful if you don't, especially if you don't have support like from family and friends in town. Yeah, so the next one is visitors. So thinking through like what is your feeling about having visitors? Do you want to have visitors? Do you want to hold off having visitors? Do you want to limit visitors? Who are you comfortable coming to help you and visit the baby and meet the baby and visit you during those early days and weeks? If you're having your baby at the hospital, who do you want to come see you at the hospital? Who do you not want to come see you at the hospital? Like what do you want for that season, or for that time? And the other thing is, just don't be afraid to say no or to keep your visits with people short, because it's important to rest and to take care of yourself. And that's just going to look different during this newborn season. The next box, the last one on this page, is caring for siblings and pets. So if this isn't your first baby, you're going to have older kids that are also going to need cared for. So what's your plan to care for them? Both for the birth and also for that newborn season. So like for the birth, like, is grandma and grandpa going to watch them? Do you have a friend? Like, who's going to watch them during the birth? Are they going to be at the birth? And then talking to your husband, talking through things on how you're going to care. Like, is he getting time off so he can maybe help with the kids more during that first week or so? Do you have like mom or an aunt or a best friend or somebody who can come help you? Because your toddler or your older kids are still going to need to be cared for, obviously, but making a plan to make that a little easier on yourself can be really helpful. And the same thing with pets. Like, they still need fed, they need walked, they need taken care of. So what's your plan to make sure they get cared for, either while you're at the hospital, having someone come take care of them, or just someone helping out with those tasks when you come home. So the last page of the different boxes is, we've got physical recovery, emotional recovery, relationship with your partner, and spiritual care. So physical recovery is just, it's a reminder that it takes time to recover from birth. And it takes time for your body to heal. And just a reminder to show yourself grace during this time. And thinking through, like, how can people help you? So it kind of crosses into some other categories. But just a reminder, like, it's going to take time for your body to be strong again. And that's normal. That's okay. Emotional recovery. So there's so many changes in your life when you have a baby. Your routines change, your priorities change. There's just a lot of change, and it's a lot of good change. But it's also important to have grace for yourself in this area as well. So thinking through, like, so what are some ways that I can process the birth? And, like, is there someone I can talk to and just talk things through? Like, do you like to journal? Who do you have, like, if you're having a rough day, who do you have that you can call, both daytime, nighttime? Like, who's someone you can call if you're having a hard time or a bad day? And then, do you and your husband know the signs of postpartum depression and some of the mood disorders, so that if those symptoms start coming up, that you can recognize them and then get help before things get worse? Because it's better to catch those things, the earlier the better. So yeah, just thinking through, like, the emotional recovery time, and kind of what are some plans you have in place to care for yourself in that area. And then your relationship with your husband is going to look differently, because now you're taking care of a baby, and that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time. That's kind of going to be the whole center of your world for a little while. So just having those conversations and talking through expectations that you both have, and talking things out, like, what are your expectations and his, and how can you show each other grace and support each other during this time. And then the last category I have on here is spiritual care. So just the exhaustion, like, all of the things that are happening can make it more difficult to remember God's promises. It can make it more difficult to get your normal quiet time in, and that's okay. Your quiet time may look differently. It may not look at all the same. So if your routine is having a cup of coffee and you read your Bible in the morning, that may not happen. But there are other ways that you can be fed with the word. So just thinking through that and coming to terms and being okay that your walk with the Lord, like, the disciplines of walking with the Lord, may look different during the season. But you can do things like, you can listen to the audio Bible. You can turn worship music on. A thing that is also really helpful is getting like those little note cards and writing Bible verses down on them and putting them like by your kitchen sink or your bathroom mirror or somewhere where you can see them, or the changing table. That's another good place. So your circumstances in your life look different right now. And we change as people, but God never changes, and his care for you doesn't change. And he's going to walk with you through this season. And he's going to give you the strength and the endurance to get through it. So just understanding and reminding yourself of God's truths is going to be vital to keeping your eyes on him during this season. Yeah, and so the last page I have here, I have a spot on top. You can write people that you can call during the day and during the night. So this is part of one of the planning earlier. So writing the people's names out, their phone numbers, or having it programmed in your phone, so that if you're having a hard day, you need someone to talk to, you need someone to come over, you've already thought through who you can call. So that's what that's for. And then on the bottom is just like important phone numbers. So you write your midwife's number, your doula's number, the birth center, the lactation consultant, pediatrician, your pastor's number. And then there's just room for like anyone else you may want. And you can just put that on your fridge. That way everyone can see, anyone who's helping you can see all the numbers that are important. So that's what the postpartum planning packet is. So I hope you find this really helpful in preparing for the postpartum season. Congratulations on your baby, and yeah, I hope this is helpful for you.